Comet.
All right, we are going to be doing motor mounts this time. So I bought a motor mount kit. It's got the plates that bolt to the engine. It's got these, which will have these pressed in. So these are polyurethane bushings with grooves so you can lube them and everything. And the idea is we're going to come off the motor mount plates, and at some point we're going to tie into the side of that, and then these get stuck in there. Grab the other pieces from the other side if I can get to it. We got these two brackets and the metal tube that goes inside the polyurethane bushings and the bolt that's going to go through them. So the first thing I have to do is just attach these to the cross members. So and I'm just going to tack it in place. But what I did was I took the metal tube out, put the bolt through here, so I got the two brackets. And I could do it like this, or I could do it like this. I'm kind of leaning towards this though, so it keeps it farther from anything that might be sticking out the side of the engine, like exhaust or hoses. It's going to go down something like that. It's pretty well the right width for my cross member, same thickness material, so I'm just going to grind off the weld through primer and tack it in place. So the first thing I want to do is tighten this bolt all the way so that they're not floppy. I want them to be perfectly square up against that tube. In fact, before I do that, just for ease of assembly, I'm going to give myself an extra washer width so that it's not so close that I can't get the brackets in there. Yeah. That'll do nicely. Man, that was the most intense nylock I've ever dealt with. I was standing on the thing to get it to tighten up. Anyways, we're going to come off like that. Let me get my flat disc, get that paint off there. And I'm sorry about all the heavy breathing on these videos. I don't know what's up with my lungs, but you'll have to live with it. Be my signature mouth breather sound. Well, the nice thing about this being my mock-up block is I don't have to worry about getting grinder dust all over it and stuff. So this block is no good. Alright, that's good enough. Now, it's a matter of welding it in, I guess. Or at least tack it in. Luckily, it is about the same width as the cross member, so getting it front to back is going to be no problem. Okay, I should probably bevel the edges a little bit. So let's do that. Here we go. I'm just going for a little bit of a tack right now. paper towels in your car. Seriously. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. All right. Now the trick is getting the motor mount cut in length. Make damn sure the engine's where I want it. Right now it's not. Right now the engine is sitting on the steering rack, so I actually need to get it up some. I don't get it that far off the steering rack. So less than a half an inch. Alright, now square this thing up again. Right it up there. I'll grab my tank measure. I've got square, although it's hard to find anything square on the firewall. Order that. These come over this way. Okay, according to that, that's square. Does it look square? Yes, it looks square. And then I'm going to check my distance to the frame rails on both sides, because that's really important too. So the way I do this is I go from that bottom hole. I'm at 7 1/4. I believe that's too far that way, but we'll double check. Yeah, maybe an eighth of an inch that way. Okay, this one's down, but this one's going to have to be up to clear the steering rack. I'm going to put the other motor mount on the other side up. Doesn't matter, they're custom, it'll work. Next trick is to bolt this to the side of the block. I need to check the angle of this thing real quick. I wanted it like 4 or 5 degrees. Yeah, it's a little up still. 1/4 of a degree. One degree, 2 degrees, 3 degrees. Good grief. Let's pull it forward a little bit. Yeah, we're still a little ways back. There we go. Okay, that's almost 5 degrees now. 1 3/4, 4, 3.3. That'll do. Okay, 3 1/4 degrees, and we came forward quite a bit. Let's actually go back some. That's better. I want the motor mount centered on the cross member. Okay, that's 2.75, so we're gonna go down a little bit more. Come on. 3.5. All right. 3.7. There we go. Perfect. Good enough. 3 3/4. And it'll change once I settle it down on the mount, so we'll see what we end up with. That engine pan is so low to the ground. Anyways, okay, measure it with a tape measure first, because this pipe is too long, which is good. Okay, so I want the pipe to be 6 1/4 inches long. So 6 1/4. Probably can't see my pipe, but it started out 10 inches. I'm gonna make it 6. There we go. Let's grab a mark there and cut it. Alright, I'll use my cutoff disc and cut that off. Alright. Yeah. Now, let's keep that end square. And I'm going to try and scribe this angle on here. Okay, I have a rough angle to cut it. Alright, I got the correct angle and thought I was recording for a few minutes. So that's going to work. And we're going to tack it on here in a couple of places. Hopefully it stays. And then we'll pull this plate back off the engine and finish welding on the ground. Okay, other side. Can't see anything that I'm welding. Yeah, just kind of welding blind down around the corner. Okay, she's attached, and I'll call that pretty well centered. Yeah, it'll do. Yeah, let's get those bolts out now. Surprised they're not even hotter than that. Also, these bolt holes weren't cut big enough or in the right place. So I'm going to have to drill them out at some point. There we go. Let's see how bad my tack welds look. Oh, yeah. I'm happy with that. Those tacks aren't bad. Yeah, so I screwed that up pretty good, that fish mouth or whatever I wanted to do. It's way too much, but I will make do. I'll be doing a lot of gap welding. more attached. I really don't think we're square, of course. It says we're square. I don't know. Alright, we got one motor mount in. Don't look at my welding, it is atrocious. The good thing is I can always go back. This is just, you know, bar stock and some tube, and I can make it again. But this will get me going. I am no good at making motor mounts. This is like the worst thing ever. So I tacked this side in. As you notice, that side is down at the bottom. This side I needed to clear the steering rack, so I did it at the top. Steering rack will be able to come, you know, out at an angle or whatever it needs to do. Sorry, out at an angle or whatever it needs to do, and won't be an issue. It'll clear this no matter what. So this piece, this is just an example. It's straight out. The last one I had to do kind of a curve downward, so this one's going to be a lot easier. It's straight, and it's going to be 5 or 6 inches long. I'll probably cut it too long, make sure. We'll do this side a lot better than I did the other side, but it's still going to be me welding it. Here it is, welded up and in primer. I did a lot better this time. I had some practice. Like I said, I can always get some more pipe and redo the other side. But yeah, this is going to hold the engine exactly where it needs to be. This is as simple a motor mount as you can get. Just polyurethane in here, two little things on the side to have the bolt go through that get welded to your cross member. This bolts to the engine. So yeah, this is going to work really well. Very simple. All right, this is the second motor mount. This is yeah, this still got some water in it from when I was cooling it down before painting. Anyways, yeah, so this is how it turned out, and we are going to install it now. The other motor mount's already in. This motor mount's going in now. You can see the steering's down here and the brackets. I still only have them barely tack welded. I'll get back to that after. What I want to do right now, what I'm doing right now is I'm bolting in the motor mounts, confirming that they hold the motor and it's, you know, happy. And then I'll pull the motor out with the motor mount still attached to it, probably. And we can weld those the rest of the way in, primer up the cross member, paint the cross member, and be done and ready to put in the next engine, the real engine. So. And I know back of my head, big old bald spot's gonna be blocking most of your view. Bear with me. Go. Get all these bolts to line up is not great because these motor mounts they were cut by hand with a plasma cutter. They don't turn out great. Let's see if I can get a fourth one in. I doubt it. This isn't the final install. I'll do 3. Yeah. All right. Probably spin these in by hand before I spend 2 days ratcheting on them. And it might be a good time to try and get this bolt in. Alright. Very nice. Cool. Alright. So there we go. Now, let's drop the jack. And the 2 plates that I had for a spacer. So there's a gap between my steering rack. Yep. It's not sitting on my steering rack. That's good. There was more than that much space, at least. Well, maybe. Yeah. It's snug, but So obviously the transmission mount in the middle of the car is going to have a little bit of say on the angle, but these mounts are sturdy enough that they're going to do what they're going to keep the engine where I put it. So 0.15 degrees, so 1/10 of a degree. I think on a bubble level you wouldn't even be able to say that set not centered. $420. It's $420, y'all. I mean, I can have anywhere from, yeah, up to 420. It's leaning back right now. If the transmission pulls it up, it could be 3.7. It could be down to 4.2. I don't think it really, I mean, if I pull down on it, I can get 4.5. So about 4 degrees of lean back. And yeah, we have one LS block installed in a 61 Comet. There's just a little bit of gap between the firewall and the transmission, or I mean the firewall and the block, but I'm still going to have to cut some of this out to clear the transmission bell housing, but not near as much as we might have feared. I might have feared anyways. That's the end of this video. Thanks for watching. Come back next week and we'll do some more.